We on?
Welcome to the RX Debrief team this week, our unfiltered, honest platform about fitness. We are your hosts, Kenyon, Mo, and it's not Levi, but it's...
way better looking.
Yeah. All right, so our guest from episode 1, Abe, he's joining us today, filling in for Levi, only because he's still gallivanting.
Is he?
In the South Island.
That bloody idiot. No,
So-
jokes. Love you. No. No.
So he's still doing his thing. But yeah, what do we have for breakfast?
What did you have for breakfast? I had normal overnight oats, and I had one boiled egg.
One boiled egg.
Yeah.
I have the same every day. It's just 6 eggs
You know, you should change it up and do 7.
Yeah.
and do 7. I used to do 8.
You used to do 8.
I used to do 8.
Yeah.
And that got a bit too much. What do you have for breakfast?
I had this amazing cereal that I can't even remember what it is.
Mustn't have been that amazing.
It's like little cluster balls of wheat with cinnamon in it. So it's only like 4 ingredients. It's
like a fancy version of Wheatbix.
Yeah, but like way better. And it's from Hubbard. So if anyone knows what it is, I can't remember for the life of me.
Let 'em know.
But it was amazing. And then I had 2 Nespresso coffees with coffee creamer.
Is that a sponsored Hubbard's ad?
No, it's not.
15% discount off the Hubbard's Wheatbix. Not Wheatbix. The fancy Wheatbix.
No,
No.
way fancy Wheatbix. Yeah, but that was awesome. So yeah. And then obviously this.
Nice.
I actually had a really weird dream last night.
Oh.
I didn't sleep much last night. I actually dreamt that I missed the show.
Oh,
That,
is that
like,
why
I
you were
slept-
late picking me up, bro?
I slept and I woke up and then it was like 3 o'clock and I was like, shit, I just missed the RX debrief.
Imagine that.
And then I got fired. And then I
fired you?
I lost my spot on the
Was
show.
it producer
These
Ben?
guys. Producer Ben.
But we're here
You're
now.
out.
We're here. That
Yeah.
dream was just a dream.
Yeah.
Anyways, who we got on today, bro?
All right, man. We've got Rachel Palmer. So Rachel Palmer is a CrossFit athlete. So from the bro last week, Callum, this is one of his athletes from Renegade Performance. 18 plus years as a swimmer, right up to the collegiate level. A CrossFit athlete for the last 5 years, been to regionals, CrossFit Games, sanctional events, a ton of New Zealand events. She's pretty gangster. She's a coach at HPK Swimming. She is a smiling assassin, eats far too much cookie dough. The one and only Rachel Palmer.
Yeah. Come in, Rach.
Come on in.
Hey, girl. Welcome to the RX
Hello.
Debrief.
Making me sound good over there. I
I like the cookie dough bit.
Yeah.
I ain't
Yeah.
going to disagree with that.
Well, actually, that's one of the questions I want to ask. So last Friday, I put out a little post on Instagram and said, what are some questions that you would like Rachel to answer? So I've got 2 here. One is, what is your favorite board game? That came from 4 different people for some reason.
Board
What's your
game.
favourite board
I
game?
know, right? I didn't expect that.
I
was
feel like
expecting
she's
something about
super,
fitness, yeah.
super competitive in this too.
Yeah.
Do you play a lot of board games?
Our family does, yes.
Your family
and
does.
you can imagine what our family would be like based off Harry, Kirsten, and myself. So
Yeah.
it can get pretty aggressive.
Yeah.
So my favorite, have you guys heard of bananagrams?
Yes.
Yes. So I guess is that counted as a board game?
Yeah, I
I
think
think so.
so, yeah.
So I think bananagrams.
Yeah.
If you haven't played it, it's kind of like a crosswordy type one, but it's about speed as well.
Yeah.
And you can imagine, that gets real intense in my family. We play for hours.
Yeah.
You're allowed your phone, though, right? You can actually look up. things.
Nah,
Is
Is it
that
in
we,
your
don't- we
rules it's
play
not
no
that?
phone, but we kind of like ask each other, hey, is this a
yeah,
word? Like
yeah.
we use mum and dad because
Yeah.
they know way more words. So we're like, does this count? And then if there's a questionable one, then we jump on the phone just
Yeah.
to make sure.
Yeah.
And the other question I got was, why are you such an arguer? all the time.
Ooh.
And this is
Callum will attest to this.
Yeah,
Yes.
Callum, but this isn't from Callum.
I bet
This
it's.
is-
Oh, I was going to say. I bet
Are
that's
you
from
sure?
No, well, he mentioned it last week, but it's not from him. There was 5 people, that message us like, why does she always backchat? Why does she always argue? Why is she such a diva? Like all these sort of
Oh,
things.
big call.
I'm going to need to find out who that was. And
I'm open for bribery. So.
like I said, I think it's a middle child syndrome going on there. Just feeling like I have to fight my battles constantly. So I'm putting it down to being a middle child.
Yeah.
With Harry and Kirsten either side. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, I just said a chance.
That's true.
Fair enough.
So welcome to the show, and I guess the first thing I want to know is kind of give us a quick 5-minute spiel on kind of your background, your history as a person, and then we can kind of launch into your CrossFit journey and go from there.
Cool. So swimming was obviously a big part of my life, like you guys said. So started swimming when I was like 7 or 8. Carried that all the way through to getting a scholarship to go over to America. So I studied, did my degree over there in health science, and as well as swimming. Which was pretty cool. So got a full scholarship ride there, which is really mean because there's not really opportunities like that here in New Zealand. And so then once I was done swimming over there, I kind of fell into the coaching role. Like I said, I was an arguer, so I was always asking coaches,
Questioning it,
asking questions, trying to find out why. And I think deep down that was why it was going on.
Yeah.
It was because I wanted to understand why we were doing what we were doing, because I wanted to be able to do it myself. And so it's probably why I asked all the questions of Callum as well, because I do a little bit of CrossFit coaching too, and I want to know why we're doing what we do.
Why you do things, right? Yeah, better
I don't like
understanding.
to just
Be told what to do.
told what to do. I want to know why I'm doing things. I want to understand things. So I think that comes down to that. But yeah, so I was over in America coaching, decided it was time to come back home, missed New Zealand a little bit. And my sister and my brother were doing CrossFit, and they're like, hey, you should come try this. And I was a little bit skeptical. I'm not going to lie. At the start, I was a CrossFit hater.
There it is.
Full 360 here,
Yeah.
guys. Full 360.
That's
but
like this guy here as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I was a bit of a hater, only because of ignorance, and I didn't know, and I didn't understand, and I was like, whatever, we'll see. And I came to one session, and that was pretty much it. And my experience from there was literally a whirlwind. It was like I'd been doing CrossFit for a couple of years. Next, I was going to regionals, going to the games. It kind of felt like I was in the right place at the right time a little bit, but it obviously also comes down to hard work and things like that. But it just went from one to the other, and then before I knew it, we were at the games, and then we were trying to do it again, and it was so to me, like, my CrossFit experience has just been a complete whirlwind of
Just
regionals and games. And
Just interrupting, sorry, because you did so much swimming, would you consider yourself a mermaid?
yes, I actually get called a dolphin a lot, so I don't
Really?
know which is better.
What would you
dolphin
rather, though, be a dolphin or a mermaid?
mermaid?
Yeah, 100%.
Have you seen Ariel?
Yeah,
Like, come on.
exactly.
So what,
Yeah, you go.
what made you? What ended your? Or did you just decide you didn't want to swim anymore?
It's kind of tricky. So there's there's that point where you go, okay, I'm not going to make it to the Olympics. I'm not going to be quite at that level. I was pretty happy that I had, swum as long as I had. I'd got a degree out of it. I'd made like amazing connections. I'd got to travel the world. I'd done so many things through swimming, and I sort of just came to terms with that. I was like, hey, I've come full circle here. I've got what I wanted to get out of this sport. Now I want to give back to that sport on the other side. And so over in America, what I really like is that they say that you're retiring. They don't say you're quitting, you're giving up. It's you're retiring, and I feel like that's really special because it's like you've run your course. You're not giving up. You're not quitting. You really are just going, okay, I'm going to move on with the next phase of my life. And so when you're in America, you're a senior in your last year, and you get celebrated. Like you have senior day. You have all these things dedicated to you, thanking you for what you've done for the program,
That's awesome.
which is something I think we could do a way better job of here. But it really makes you feel like so blessed to have gone through what you have, and like everybody celebrates that you're finishing up rather than that whole sort of like what we do here is you kind of quit and you just kind of like sneak off
Swindle off in the
Push this,
background.
Wait
so
for the next line.
Wow.
yeah, it was never like a sad thing. Well, I mean, it was a sad thing, but it was never a negative thing. It was always, like a real positive thing. Like, you've given this much of your life to swimming, and now you're going to go and I couldn't give it up completely, obviously. So now I'm standing on the other side of it.
And the crossover would have
That's
been
awesome.
easy, eh?
It was really easy. I think, like, my mum and my sister are PE teachers. It kind of was like, I think it was in the family to be in that sort of coaching, teaching environment. So I've always felt really comfortable kind of talking to kids.
Yeah.
I always say, like, I'd rather have a conversation with kids than I would with, like, parents. I'd rather sit down and have a chat to them than, like...
Yeah, and they're, like, the most honest as well.
That's an awesome quality. That's cool.
And so I've always felt like I can connect with kids really well, and, like, I really, I like giving back to that younger generation in the sport. So, yeah.
And so that's where you're at now? So you're coaching kids?
Yeah, so now I'm coaching age performance group at the club that I swam for, which is really cool. So again, it's that whole,
full circle,
that full circle, coming back, giving back to the people that, gave me so much. And so my boss was actually the guy who coached me when I was swimming.
Wow.
So it's quite an interesting interaction because
he's watched you grow.
He's watched me grow. He knows exactly what I'm like. He knows, he knows how to push my buttons. He knows how to but he also trusts me so much within the program because he knows that I've come through the program and what kind of athlete I was and what I was like. So I think that gives him a little bit of level of trust with me and what I'm delivering. But yeah, so now I'm coaching these kids. I got a squad of about 30.
Wow.
And these guys are swimming, 6 to 7 times a week.
Is that what you used to do too?
Yeah. Well, once you get into the top end, you're going 9 and 10. Like it's a commitment.
You are a mermaid.
Yeah. But yeah, these guys are swimming 6 to 7 times a week, 2-hour sessions, fitting it in around school, around other sports. So
what's the age group?
My age group at the moment is about 11 to 14.
Ooh.
So it's that little tricky preteen,
Yeah.
teen. That wonderful age, But no, they're all, like, I've had some of them for 3-4 years now, and it's amazing to watch them grow and watch them progress. And I think that's what I really like about it. And I know what the finished product can be. And it excites me to think, a couple years, like I look at them, I'm like, a couple years time, you're going to be doing this.
That's
and
cool.
Do you see them at, like, do you see like the potential in them going further?
Totally. Like, you can see it at 7 or 8. You can see the kids that have that feel of the water. Feel of the water is something you can never teach. It's like, you've just got this inclination to be in the water and you're going to be pretty good. And if you can add the work ethic to that and the right attitude, like, you can really create that. So it's exciting when you get a kid come in and they swim a little bit for you and your eyes sort of light up and you're like, okay, I can mold this kid. I can really make something out of them. So especially when the attitude is good and, the
there
desire.
it is.
Yeah.
I'm like a rock in the water.
No, don't you drag me.
No, I've
into
seen
this.
you swim. You're the same as me. You just sink as well.
I do
Yes,
not.
you do.
All right, I'm not the one that's bicep is so big that when I go to turn, it gets blocked by the sun.
The no mobility issues.
Yeah.
I have taught CrossFitters to swim, so I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Just a quick one. So if Callum had fins on versus you, who'd win?
Oh, me, any day of the week.
We should totally go.
I will take him on. I will take him on.
Callum, if you're watching this, we're going to make this happen. We're going to put you in the water with her, fins. So what was your discipline that you were really good at? What was your thing?
So I was a 200 butterflyer, 400 IM. So probably what people would consider to be like the worst.
Sorry, what's
events.
a IM?
So IM is the individual medley. So that's where you're doing all of the strokes, right?
Yeah.
So you kind of have to be a trick of all, trick of all trades. But those 2 events are probably arguably the worst events to be good at because they hurt the most.
Really?
Yeah.
200 fly for sure. Like,
really?
you know how hard
Why
butterfly
did you
is.
choose fly?
No, I didn't choose it. I feel like it chose me.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like in CrossFit. You might be really good on the assault bike.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you
chose it.
And
Yeah,
it still
like
hurts
that.
like
Yeah,
hell,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of like that. Sometimes it's the way you're genetically inclined. So if you've got a little bit of flexibility here, your arms are a little bit longer here, you might sort of go to the different strokes. For me, butterfly, like the rhythm of it and everything just came quite naturally to me. So I think that's why I just sort
And
of
do you
settled.
coach those 2 special
So we don't specify at a young age. We coach all of the strokes because we believe that you need to be a well-rounded athlete, just like in CrossFit. You're not just going to do the snatch, you're going to do clean and jerk and snatch and, everything in between. So we always coach to cover everything. As they get older and as they progress, they will naturally go
Gravitate
towards something.
Yeah.
And so once they're 18 and plus, then we can start going, okay, you are a sprinter, you are this, and train specifically towards that. But it doesn't happen because things change. Kids grow.
Yeah.
Things go out of whack all of a sudden. And let's say we've just said, okay, you're a breaststroker, and then they grow 2 feet and they can't do
Yeah.
anything, and then they've got no strokes,
Right.
left to lean on. So our club specifically is all about you're going to do every single stroke, you're going to get a good baseline, and then we'll go from there.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. So what does a day in the life look like for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so everyone always gives me crap for this, but yes, I go to bed very early. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
my
yeah.
days start at like 5:15,
Yeah.
kind of
Most
waking
days.
up. I'm one of those people that sets the alarm for the last possible minute. I get out of bed straight away,
Yeah.
right? I don't set 5-6 alarms. I'm like 5:15.
Yeah.
And I'm up. I've given myself like 10 minutes to get ready and get out the door
Yeah.
because I like my sleep.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so up really early, head to the pool. We'll coach a 2-hour session at the pool. So that goes from about 5:45 to 8ish, depending on kids getting out for school and things like that. From there, I usually go home, have my breakfast, and then we go and train at East Tamaki.
Yep.
Usually from about 9 till 12.
Yep.
As you guys can attest,
Yeah.
we start at like 9:30, 9:45,
Yeah.
10 o'clock.
yeah.
Depending on the amount of chat that's
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
on. And that usually runs to about 12:30. It's usually, about a 3-hour session kind of thing.
Yep.
I'll head home after that, have some lunch, do my programming for the week, answer any emails, sort of the admin
Yep.
for a coach's job. And then I head back to the pool at about 3 o'clock for the evening session.
Yep.
So most of my days are sort of around there. Then at 3 till 6, I'm coaching, and then back home for dinner, and then I'm like, I want to be
I'm
in
gonna be
bed by
now.
like
Yeah.
8:30.
Yeah. Stuff, yeah.
Don't judge me.
Yeah.
Well, we always laugh because our whole household is out like by 5 a.m. in the morning. Like if
Yeah,
you
yeah.
drove past our house, everyone's gone.
Everyone's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow,
So
Yeah.
it's nice though. It means that everyone's up and you're not too worried about making heaps of noise
Yeah,
and that
yeah,
kind
yeah,
of stuff.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, we will literally try and be in bed at like 8:30.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
necessarily asleep, but
Yeah.
like winding down.
Yeah,
You
winding
need the rest.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a competitive athlete. You need it.
So can you cover off? So there's a real interesting story around your first ever CrossFit comp,
Yes.
right? So can you kind of discuss that? And that's pretty much the reason why you got into CrossFit.
So that was nationals.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I pretty much came back to New Zealand, and I think Kirsten had kind of planted the seed with a couple of the coaches, like, oh, we can put Rachel in the nationals team. Like, she'll be ready.
Wait,
Like,
you hadn't done CrossFit at
no,
that stage?
I'd done like Kirsten was kind of sending me workouts to do when I was in America at a Globo gym. So I was
Right.
kind of like
Testing
doing
it out.
testing
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
She'd come over and we'd done a couple together, and I was like, oh yeah, this is all right. The gym I was at was called like 24-hour fitness. But it was a fancy one,
Yeah.
and it even had like a grass area with like a sled and things like that.
Yeah.
You could do CrossFit at it if you
Yeah.
wanted to. So I was like, okay, I'll give it a go. But I was very fresh, like very
Yeah.
fresh. So I came back, and my first ever CrossFit workout I did, one of the coaches took me and he was like, okay, we got kipping pull-ups. And I was like, well, I don't know what that is. That's great. But, and he's like, oh, like I didn't do any intro or on ramps. So I was like, oh, just for the workout, just do what you can. I was like, so strict all good? And he's like, yeah. So we just went through the whole workout. It was probably like 50 plus pull-ups. Just did strict pull-ups. Love them. They're one of my favorite movements. And he was just like, all right then, like, that's fine. And then from there, Kirsten was like, I'm going to teach you how to butterfly. So I don't even think I ever did a kipping pull-up.
Wow.
Like she just went, just try this. So I kind of got through by people just being like, just try this.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll be able to do this. And
Yeah.
it kind of like snowballed from there. And then next minute I know I'm in the RX Nationals team going down to the Mount with 6 other people. And I'm just like, oh my God. I have only been doing CrossFit for like months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was so stressed out because like I felt like all these other people are like riding on me, and I'm doing these workouts that I've never done these weights before. And it was so stressful. Everyone was really supportive.
Yeah.
Luckily, I think it was that year there was a swim. So I was like, okay, at least I know one of you. I
Yeah.
got this down. But we ended up making the final somehow versus CrossFit Mana, I believe, at the
Yeah.
time. And the workout started with 5 deadlifts at, I want to say like 110 to 115.
Wow.
So like my PR at that time was like 95. And I was like, so
Can't
my
even start
heart,
the
my heart like
Yeah.
sank,
time.
right? My heart sank because I was like, guys, I can't lift that. And they're
Yeah.
like, oh, it's all good. Just it was like a relay. It was a relay fashion. So you did 5 deadlifts, handstand walk, and then box jumps, and
Yeah.
then you come back around and obviously tag the next person. Oh, sorry, no, it was elimination relay. So they did that. Whoever won that was their point. So
Oh,
you're
yeah,
trying to
yeah.
get the most points,
I
right?
see. That's
So
cool.
they go, okay, well, what we'll do is we know who their best guy is. So you're going to go up against their best guy because we would lose that one anyway.
Yeah.
So I was like, sweet. Like,
Yeah.
sacrificial lamb over here. All good. Like, let's do that. So I went up, did the most horrendous deadlift you've probably ever seen. Like my spine probably almost shot out of my back. Got it up once and was like, yeah, PR. And then walked off.
Take it.
Well, that's the
Yeah.
best.
Well, the poor other guy is doing the whole workout, like racing no one because I literally like Callum and stuff were like, "That's it, just call it, call it, good." Yeah. So that was sort of my we got second, obviously. Like it was a two team final, so the worst we were going to come in second.
Second, yeah.
I think we'd sort of accepted the fact that
Yeah.
that was going to be what it was. So that was my first like. I called it baptism by fire because I just got
Absolutely.
like thrown in there, see what
Yeah.
you can do, and I was like, all right, and turned out all right.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty
nuts.
gnarly. That was the old Mount CrossFit, right? That was back in the
that
day
was back
before.
in the day, yeah.
Did you guys ever do one at the Mount?
No, I did my very first one was with Kia Meyer in 16. That was the one that you did, and that was the
Oh,
one
yeah.
where they had the nationals was part team and individuals together. So I distinctly remember being doing that one, thinking, yeah, this is amazing. And then there was like 90 kilo shouldered overhead, and my PR at the time was like 80, and I just thought, this sucks. And lucky the guy that I was with, Dan, did all think 20 reps unbroken.
Damn.
And I was like, that's awesome. I didn't have to do it at all.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the next year I did all the pistols, and I was like, this is sweet. So I just did the muscle ups.
See, it reminds me of there was a workout that we had to do. It was 90-60 was the scale, and it was if you dropped the bar, you got a 10 burpee penalty. And so
Ooh.
I was like, okay, so you had to do, I think it was like power cleans. You had to do front squats
Yeah.
and you had to do shoulder overheads. And I was like, I can't front squat it. Like, I can't do that weight. So the girls did it for me. And then Kirsten goes, we really need you to do a shoulder overhead. And I was like, okay. So I like get the bar, completely mess it up, fail it. Everyone has to do their burpees. And at the end, Kirsten's like, I don't know why I thought to tell you to shoulder over it when you couldn't front squat it. I was like, yeah, in
Front squat it, but
hindsight.
shots,
Gonna
like,
try to get you to throw it
She
over
set
your
you
head.
up.
everyone was so mad. I was like, I'm sorry.
She told me.
She like made me feel like I could do it.
How does it feel being in a high performing family, right? So your brother and your sister are just as gangster as you. Is there like a lot of, I know there's probably a lot of healthy competition. Is it like what I would expect it to be? Like say like the Panchik brothers, right, in the States. There's three brothers and they're all gangster.
Yeah.
Are you guys like that? Are you guys like hyper competitive?
I think we are at some things, but I've said it before. We have all figured out what we're better at, right? So
Yeah.
we've all been like, we all know Harry's the strong one. Harry's going to excel at lifting heavier weights. Kirsten's very good at gymnastics. She's very good at strict handstand push-ups and that kind of stuff. And then I'm very good also at gymnastics, but longer style workouts, aerobic capacity and rowing and things like that. So I think we've all figured out real quick,
Yeah.
okay, you're good at that, you're good at that, you're good at that. The rest of it, we can sort of battle it out,
Yeah.
but we know each other's strengths. And when a workout comes
Yeah.
up that we know is going to favor that person, we just know.
Yeah.
There's no real conversation. We just know, oh yeah, you're going to be mean at this one.
Yeah.
Like, you'll
Yeah.
be all good kind of thing. And it's actually really cool. Like we get to do a lot of competitions together. And because we know each other so well, it just makes it really, really easy. And
Have you ever competed against your sister?
I don't, not that I think,
I think I
Yeah,
saw a
really
post on
early
Instagram,
on.
and it was you came second to her. It was I think it was an East Tamaki comp. I don't know. I just remember the black four, and I was like, oh
Yeah, it might be like, I think early on we did, like we both did Battle of the Fittest one year,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. I don't think I've competed against her in quite a long time. We've always competed with each other. It's not that we're avoiding it, it's just that it has never...
come
like,
on.
Callum,
come-
make that happen.
Yeah.
Callum.
Oh, yeah, it
Callum
is. I
Vick,
think
yeah.
we're both doing Renegade Challenge.
Oh,
so
yeah.
there you
Ah,
have
there
it.
you
So,
go.
yeah, I don't think we have... Like, we've always just been on the same team together, which has been cool too. So, yeah.
That's epic.
Yeah.
All right, it's challenge time.
Yeah, the alarm went off. We are.
So rock, scissors, paper.
But first, to anyone watching, my bro over here thinks it's. What do you think it is?
Rock, scissors, paper.
So wrong.
It's paper, scissors, rock.
No, rock, scissors, paper.
Can someone confirm this and comment on the video?
And don't go to
tell
Google.
him.
It is rock, scissors, paper.
Please, all right?
Rock, scissors, paper.
And Rachel's
Gosh.
got our challenge for us. What's our punishment?
Oh, we're doing bicep curls.
Oh, yeah,
I'm pretty
okay.
sure.
Yeah,
We
we're
forget
doing
about
bicep
max
curls.
effort bicep curls. Get
Okay.
a pump.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's 1, 2, and on 3 we hit it, eh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's paper,
Rock,
scissors,
scissors,
rock.
paper.
And on the rock
Ready?
we go.
Ready?
Okay, ready?
Ready?
Rock,
Paper,
scissors,
scissors,
paper.
rock.
Oh.
Paper,
Rock,
scissors,
scissors,
rock.
paper.
Paper,
Rock,
scissors,
scissors,
rock.
Oh.
Oh!
Hey!
Man, you never get it. This is me. There you go.
I'll make you do
Hey, you should do
16.
16s.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
16s.
Guns.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
Here we
Yeah.
go.
I reckon try and pump out 75.
Whoa.
Cut it out.
Yeah. No, hold it by the horns on the side.
this?
Yeah. That's it.
Like
yeah.
that.
Oh, we're
Yeah.
going double.
Yeah.
We're going double.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. So you can pump out 75. Piece of pie.
Oh,
What's
what's your
Lucky
thing?
it
What's
wasn't
your
another
thing?
movement because I didn't shave my
Yeah,
arm.
tuck your.
Take your thing in. Yeah.
Smack that.
Yeah.
I want to break it. Yeah. Go.
Ready?
As you were.
As you were.
As we were.
All
All
right.
right. So I wanted to ask you this question, right? So now I've come out twice to East Tamaki for the last 2 weeks and watched you train. And one of the things I noticed was how competitive you are, even in something as simple as what I saw on Monday, which was it was originally, Callum, meant to be 4 rounds of 15 toes to bar, 12-meter handstand
Don't
walk
tell him.
for quality. Yeah, totally dobbing you in right here. Totally dobbing you in. For quality, you immediately turned into 2 teams, and we're going to
1v1.
rotate an Indian file. And so you were awesome. So I can't remember who you're up against, but that guy that was
Josh.
Josh.
Yeah, yeah.
So you and Josh were basically toe for toe, and you would sprint back. And then when your teammates were going through it, the amount of emotion that I saw in your face was like, just get it done. Was wow, she's really competitive.
Yeah.
Where does that competitive edge come from for you? And how do you manifest that continually, week in, week out, to get to where you want to be?
Yeah, that's a really good question.
I know.
Great job. I think are you right over there?
I got an adopted.
I'm hearing a lot of
I
like
got an
groans and
adopted.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it comes from sort of my upbringing and being immersed in high level sport pretty quickly.
Yeah.
You kind of learn that you need to be competitive if you want to get to those goals that you have set. Being brought up with Kirsten and Harry, Kirsten is my older sister. She always set the bar really, really high. So, she was high level in all the sports she did. So I felt like I was like, okay, well, I've got to prove myself too. I've got to make sure that I'm getting to that. And it sort of made me want to work hard. It made me want to be competitive. It's not so much that I don't know if it's competitive. It's that I want to bring out the best in everyone and I want to bring out the best in myself. So I will never accept less from myself. I always want to be the one that outworks people. I think Callum learnt pretty early on is that I will not be outworked. So he can turn around and go, we're going 2 extra rounds, and I'll be like, what? And then I'll go do them.
Yeah.
So but I think it's more that just not wanting to be outworked is that if I know I can do it, if I can do better, then I will just keep doing it until I get to where I want to be.
Did that mindset start from swimming?
I think so, yeah. I had this discussion before. It's like in swimming, you're in your head a lot because you're staring at a black line. You have your cap and goggles on. You're not having conversations. It's not like CrossFit where you can be like talking to people in the workout if you need to be. You're very much in your own thoughts, and negative chat is a
common
dangerous
thing
thing,
in swimming.
man. Like you're just sitting there going, I don't want to do this. This is
even
lame.
you just said staring at a black line.
Yeah.
I mean,
and people are like, how did you do that for so many years? And it's talking yourself around, and it's that chat in your head, and that's a really big skill I think swimming taught me is that I made so many excuses in my head over the years. I've cried into my goggles. I have done it all, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I still got it done.
Yeah.
And it was that whole, no one's going to do this work for you.
Right.
You're going to do this work, and you can make all the excuses in the world in your head. It's still going to have to be done. So let's get on with it. Yeah. And I fully credit that to swimming, I think.
Do you instill that mindset in your young swimmers?
That's what I try to do. I've had to have quite a few discussions with them. Like it's a different generation, right? And they've been brought up with social media and all these other things on them. So there's a lot more pressures at a young age on these kids than I ever experienced from parents, from outside factors, from social media, from everything. So they are quite different. They haven't been brought up to play. They've been brought up. Well, they have been brought up to play on their phones, right?
Yeah,
Not with each other, not climbing trees and that kind of stuff. So I do find myself having conversations with them being like, hey, this is about staying positive. If you're having a negative thought and you say it out loud, you're affecting everybody around you. And we have a lot of discussions like that. I want them to understand why I'm asking them to do these things. And I think that's because that's what I like. I like to understand. So I'm saying, hey, we're doing this because, and I give them a lot of respect in the fact that I believe they can understand and they're getting it done. And so definitely,
That's epic.
And would you consider yourself a role model for these kids?
I would really like to think that I can be a role model for them. It's really cool talking to my kids some days, and they'll come in and tell me that they went and did their first CrossFit session. You know,
Yeah.
they'll come and tell me that they did really well at athletics, at swimming sports. You know, and I like them that they want to come to me and they want to tell me, and they're really, really excited about it. And they always make really positive comments to me as well. They'll be like, man, look at your calf muscles when you're walking. That's so cool. Like, it's none of that negative stuff that you can get from other people. They're always really excited about it. They always know that if I say, hey, I will pick you up and throw you in that pool, that it is a serious threat and I will be able to do it. Like, and I think they like it. And the boys, you know, they'll be like, oh, arm wrestle me. Like, you know, like it's cool. It's a really cool environment. And I like to think that when I stand on that pool side, like they know that I've been through what they've been through. They know that I'm still trying to be an athlete and that I'm reflecting what they, you know, maybe some of them want to be one day, hopefully.
That is epic.
That is cool.
And I think that's relatable too. I mean, you've done all the work and now you're like giving it back. But just to be a role model to them is like, I didn't have any role models to look up to, especially women.
Yeah.
You know, and you're empowering the young girls now. You can look strong and be proud of that. And I think
still
that's
be feminine.
exactly. Yeah. I think that's epic.
And is that a real bugbear for you? Is the perception of what women should be versus what they can be?
Good
I
question.
think so. I think it's definitely changing.
Yeah.
Like it is
Yeah.
changing, but it's still slow. And I find the older generation is the harshest critic.
Yeah.
Like I still second guess going to the supermarket directly after training in booty shorts.
Right.
You know, like I still second guess what I'm putting on if I know I'm going into the supermarket. And it's not that anyone will say anything directly, it's the looks.
Yeah.
And it's always looks from older people.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is. And
The old Susans, eh?
oh, Susan in the corner.
Yeah.
What,
And
what do you
Daniels.
got-
Yeah.
What do you got
Seasons
on
and
there?
Daniels.
And I think that's still something we are dealing with. No, and I mean, I don't notice it anymore, but my partner will notice it if I'm walking through the supermarket,
Yeah.
if I've got shorts on. He'll be like, oh, that person was just looking at your legs. That person was, I'm
Yeah.
like, it's okay. Like, it's hopefully they're doing it in a positive way, you
Yeah.
know? But I do still think, I've had comments before, you know, like walking up and down the pool, I had shorts on. And she's like, man, your thighs are chunky. And I
Wow.
was like, did you want to use the word chunky?
Do you want to use the word?
Did you want me to throw you in the
I'm
pool
like,
too?
muscular would have been great.
Yeah.
Or like I get, oh, have you been bulking up? And I'm like, no, this is just me.
Sound off.
And I have like, it does make me sometimes want to wear a t-shirt instead of a tank top, you know, that kind of stuff. And I'm sure all females go through that, but it's cool for me to see my young swimmers and they're going to get swimmer shoulders and they're going to get broader. And I want them to be able to see me and be like, it's you know,
cool.
It's
it's
cool.
cool.
I'm proud of it.
Yeah, be proud of it. Like, rock it. You can still be feminine. You can still be really pretty. Like, there's
Yeah.
nothing, you know, there is nothing more amazing to me than what the human body can be and what it
Yeah.
can do. And so, if I can teach these kids from a young age that it's a positive thing,
Yeah.
then I'll be so stoked. I will have done my job.
That's absolutely
that is cool.
amazing.
yeah.
Wow.
It's cool that these kids have, like, they can come to you and
Yeah.
like tell you with confidence like what their goals are and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
I think that's super cool.
How do you coach your young kids through, like, just say they've got competitions coming up and you know they're about to go into the event? How do you coach them through like the doubt?
That's a cool one because that again, that's
Because
such
you're
a-
like up
yeah.
there athlete and it's all mindset. You're only looking at
It's-
that black line. You
Exactly,
know?
and I like to. When I was a swimmer, I always made sure I stood behind the block, and I was like, I've done the work.
Right.
I can think back of all the training sessions I've done. I can put them in my back pocket and know that I've done it, and that gives you that confidence. So my swimmers have their big junior nationals meet in next weekend. So
Wow.
I'll be dealing with all of
Yeah.
that, all of the emotions, all of the tears, like you name it, and it's really cool. But what I like to tell them is, you know, the work is done. Okay, like you need to have enough faith in me that I have trained you hard enough to be ready for this. Now all you have to do is have fun and execute it, and that's kind of always what I lean towards. I never give them too much. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, have fun out there.
Yeah.
All right, be confident you've done the work, and just execute the way you know how. And I keep it pretty simple like that. And I think a lot of them could rattle off to me
Yeah.
exactly what I'm going to say to them.
Yeah.
They've heard it so many
Many
times,
times.
but that's what it is. And I always like to say have fun because these kids feel a lot of pressure from
They put in the hours though,
Yeah.
they
right?
put in the hours, they're getting the pressure from parents, they're getting pressures from others, they're feeling the pressure of beating each other. And
Yeah.
I mean, like, if at the end of the day, if you're not enjoying it, why are we swimming 7 times? You're showing up for a reason,
Yeah.
right? I wouldn't be doing CrossFit if I didn't enjoy it. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's like,
Absolutely.
what's the point? It's
Yeah.
not going to add anything positive to your life. So I think that's what sometimes these kids can forget, is that they get so caught up in the competitive side. I'm like, it's got to be fun. But I do also remind them that winning is fun.
Yeah.
Right? So when they're having a rough training session, I'm like, you're doing it so that next weekend is really fun for you.
Yeah.
When you're doing well and you're swimming fast and you're winning medals, it's fun regardless.
Yeah.
So I think it's a big thing around that.
Wow.
How do you deal with disappointment then for kids? So especially at that pubescent age that you've got, like that's super gnarly.
It's so hard, and sometimes it's heartbreaking because sometimes it's the kid that has done everything you've asked, right? It's that kid that has literally followed everything to a T. He's done everything you've asked. He showed up to every session, and swimming's a sport like that where it can all just go wrong. Like on the day you're going through a certain part of your life and you're growing or something's off and it can just go flat, and they don't understand. It's about reminding them of the long game. So it's kind of like, okay, hey, this one didn't go so well for you. We've got 10 other events for you to do this weekend. We've got to forget about this one, move on, and get yourself ready for the next one. So it's just about changing their mindset. My coach, when I was swimming, if I swam badly, I'd be upset because, if you're invested in something, you're going to get upset, right? And he'd be like, all right, you got 20 seconds to feel sorry for yourself, and then we're moving on.
Wow.
And I'd be like, okay.
That's a good tip though.
Yeah.
It's just and swimming's like that. You never go and just have one race. You usually have a multitude of races. So if your first one's not so good and you're gonna let that ruin all your next ones, it's like you may as well not even show up for the next ones because
your head's not there.
Your head's not there. But I've dealt with it all. I have dealt with the tears. Some of them are easy because they haven't put in the work, and so that's reminding them of the connection that they need to learn. Hey, did you do all the sessions? Did you train as hard as you could every time you got to the pool? And they'll be honest with me. They'll go, no. And I'll go, this is why this is happening. And then they learn that lesson. They come back and they become better athletes because of it. So sometimes it's a good lesson, and you have to turn around and show them how it can be a good lesson.
That is a good turnaround though, because some coaches could come across and be like, you didn't train hard enough, and then that's why, and then they're left with the, I didn't train that hard,
Yeah. And they won't kid themselves. They won't say, I have. And I'm like, okay, so when you did one session instead of 6 last week, and they'll be like, oh, yeah. Like, they just need to be reminded. But it's the same with CrossFit. If I left a comp and I wasn't happy, I'd look back and go, did I actually prepare as I should have? Did I do everything? And chances are, probably not. Like most sport, if you prepare and you train and you do everything you're supposed to do, you're going to get the results at the end of the day.
Do you have that self-doubt now, like going in, like in terms of CrossFit?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, still. You get nerves. It's not so much self-doubt. I guess it's more nerves.
Yeah.
But, I've always been told nerves just mean you care.
Yeah.
And so if you're not getting nervous, you don't care about what you're going into. And so then it's kind of like, well, why are you doing it? You know? So I definitely still get nervous, but I understand what those nerves mean, and I try my best to channel them in a positive way rather than just sitting there feeling
awareness,
sick. It's just that awareness of what they're there for, which is what I like to tell my kids. I say that they're like, I'm so nervous, like I feel so nervous. I'm like, that's good. It means you care about what you're doing. So turning those nerves into a good thing and channeling them
that's a good outlook.
Yeah, that is a good idea. Do you prefer being like an individual competitor or a team competitor?
It's interesting. I haven't had a whole lot of experience as an individual, if I'm honest. I kind of got into the team scene. So I've done 2 major comps as an individual. There's pros and cons. Like being in a team is epic because you've got a support system out there on the on the field or wherever you are. And chances are, if you're not good at something, your teammates get it, right? And so there's that little bit of safety. Yeah. Whereas when you're out there by yourself and it's an event and you're like, I'm not good at these, you're going to have to get through it somehow. And it's that. But the flip of that is you're not going to disappoint anyone if you can't do it. It's you're out there, you're just going to disappoint yourself. So team can be really stressful because you've got the hopes of 4 other people or 3 other people. Like I'll never forget regionals 2018. The last event, we were like on the cusp of qualifying. It could have gone either way. We had to do a handstand push-up workout into a worm lunge. Wow. And I was a good handstand push-upper. In practice, we had trained me doing a large bulk with him, along with Dylan, because he was also really good at them. I did my first 3, and they all got no rep. The judge was not happy with what she saw in my handstand push-ups. So that was, so that was a shock. So I got out of that, and then they kept going, and then I went to go. I was like, let me have another go. So I had another go, did another 5 maybe 2 of them counted. And at that point I had to like swallow my ego. I said, take me out of this workout. You guys need to go, because if I keep going and getting no reps, we're not getting anywhere. So I sort of just stood out of the circuit. They continued on, and then we did the lunges, and like we're waiting at the end to find out if we qualify, and I'm standing there feeling like I've just stuffed up the entire, because I could not, I had the head judge coming over to me trying to explain what I was doing wrong. I couldn't in that moment interpret what he was trying to tell me. I just couldn't do it. And later I knew what the problem was. I had tape on my back so strong that it wasn't allowing me to get into a straight position they wanted for the handstand push-up. So I wasn't stacked like they wanted me to do, but the tape was so tight that my pelvis was naturally in the wrong position. And I mean, it all went well. We ended up qualifying, but I will never forget standing there and just being like, I've just completely like stuffed that whole thing up. And I was supposed to do like 30 out of the 50 handstand push-ups, and I probably did 3, you know, but then again, that's where your teammates come in, and they completely, you know, they understand, and they're like, it's okay, like you made the right decision.
Are we gonna see you more individual comps?
I think so. I mean, I've still got Down Under this year with a team again. A really cool team. So Jimmy, Magic, and Gemma. And when you have opportunities to compete with people like that, it's really hard to say no. And that's why I keep getting like sucked into these teams, because it's like, you know, you've got some
with your mate.
Well, that's such a boss team.
Yeah.
Like if I saw you guys come onto the floor, I'd be like, well, third's going to be really good today. You know, like, wow.
That's the thing is, so like when I got asked if I wanted to be there, I was like, man, these guys are, I'm like, I'm honored that they think I'm good enough to be in this team, you know, and to compete with them. And like, I'm always in such awe of these guys, because they've been doing it for so much longer than I have. And they really are like Magic and Jimmy, especially, you know, they've been around for a long time, and they've got that classic CrossFit in them, you know, like no matter what they do at training, they're still so freaking good. And like Jimmy's walking around like, oh, my back hurts, this hurts, my wrist hurts, watch me snatch 125. You know? like cool.
That's epic. That's cool that we're going to be seeing you in some individual comps.
Yeah, I think so. My big goal for this year will be Dubai as an individual. I didn't get to do the Open this past time because of a wrist injury, so I want to kind of really push through this Open and try and get, that's the one comp that I feel really drawn to that I haven't done yet.
That's epic.
Yeah.
Dubai would be sick.
I reckon.
It's
kind of like
every
a
time
mini
I see
game.
it,
That and Waterpalooza, I think, would be the 2 comps that.
Like
Waterpalooza,
the
Dubai, they look so sick.
Yeah.
Do you, so you know how, just quickly, you know how you talked about you adjusted on the fly, right, in that comp. Is that because is that a reflection of also how with Callum and Renegade, how they teach you to be like thinkers on the field? You know, you get some athletes that come out there and they're like super robotic, right? Their coaches told them a certain thing, and if they don't do it, they completely implode.
Yeah.
You guys had a game plan, but you had improvised, adapted, and overcame, right, to kind of get to the next level. Is that because of the coaching you get, or is that just you naturally doing that?
I think it's definitely down to the coaching. I mean, we've always been like that in team environments. We've always been, okay, here's our game plan, but we've always been like, this game plan's not working. What can we do now? And it's just having that ability to just step back and go, just don't keep pushing it. Let's find something else that's going to work. And Callum definitely gives us the tools to be able to do that. You know, he's never spoon-fed us. Like, if we ask, how should we do this workout? He's going to tell us. But he'll also be like, if you're not feeling it here, then you're going to have to change something pretty early on. And I mean, Torian was a really good example of that for the first workout, which was the Open workout. It was all about strategy. And he gave us a strategy. And he was like, I can come out on the floor with you, because I was allowed to have a videoer. And he was just like, I don't need to be out there with you. I know you're going to be fine on your own. Like, I'll just sit in the stands and watch you. And I was like, I feel comfortable with that. Executed it exactly how he wanted to, and it, you know, turned out really, really well. And I think it's that understanding that your coach is there, you know, to coach you and to give you support and that, but he's not out on the floor with you. He can't actually do anything for you when you're out there, and you've got to, that's when you kind of have to come into your own as an athlete and hope that your coach has given you that toolbox and that you can draw on and be like, okay, I'm getting no reps here. What do I need to do to change? Last year at Oz CrossFit Champs, the ring dip workout, the standard was just so hard. And I went in with a game plan. I'm great at ring dips. I'm doing this many ring dips. I had to step back and go, I'm going to do singles. Yeah. And Callum was like, it was really cool for me to see that you knew it wasn't working. You took a step back and you just chipped away at it how you knew you could. So it sort of comes down to like are you an intelligent athlete?
Yeah.
You know, like,
And how well you know yourself,
and
right?
how well you know your limits, because your coach can know your limits, but only you really know how you're feeling that day.
Especially
So
in the moment and stuff.
exactly,
Yeah,
like your
yeah.
coach can be like, yeah, do this unbroken, and you get out there and you do 4 out of the 10 reps, and you're like, this isn't going to happen.
Yeah.
And so it's having that ability to check yourself and to check your ego.
Ego,
I think
definitely.
checking your ego is the biggest thing. It's like, yeah, I might be able to hold on for 10 bar muscle ups, but then afterwards I might not be able to do the rest of the workout, you know? So it's about knowing your limits, and I think that's what can happen on the competition floor is you get caught up.
Yeah.
Last year at Down Under, we had this workout plan for the worm, and I was like, we're going singles. Like, I've done so many worm workouts. I know how it ends. Like, I know the implosions happen in the last 2 minutes. Like, I know.
Yeah.
And so I was like, we're doing singles. It was supposed to be squat clean thrusters.
Yeah.
And so people are thinking, oh, yeah, we can do squat clean thrusters. So actually squat cleaning and straight over. And I was like, we're going to power clean and squat it and then put it over. And we're like, yeah, this is all good. Before the workout, Jim is watching the first heat, and she's like, Rach, it's not going to work. Like, it's going to be too slow. Like, all of these guys are doing touch and go. All of these guys, I was like, it's okay. Like, it's going to be okay, Jim.
'Cause we're gonna be
We've got
consistent.
this. We're going to be consistent. And we started the workout, and teams took off in front of us. You know, like, they were touch and going. They were doing this, that, and the other. And slowly but surely, we're coming up. And then at the end, we crushed it and we won that workout.
Wow.
And it's all about staying in your lane and sticking to, which is what Cullum's really good at too. So like Cullum has always been great at interpreting workouts and then breaking them down and being like, okay, it's 20 minutes. I know I want to start it at this pace, but I know in the last 5 I need to be able to push. And so he's kind of instilled that in his athletes that's what we need to be doing. We need to think analytical here. We need to make sure that we can finish and not implode halfway through. So I definitely think like if you had a workout and you needed to know how to do it, Cullum is the one to ask.
Yeah.
He is incredible at breaking it down. And I've watched him do so many workouts where he started off so slow and I've been like, what is this guy doing?
Yeah.
Like he's so far behind for then me 5 minutes later to be eating my words. Like, okay. And ask anyone at our gym. Like, he's the first one. If we're away at a comp, he's not there. We're like, Cullum, like, this is the workout. What do we do? You know? So, like, he understands CrossFit that well that he's the one to turn to for that. And then slowly, the more he talks to you about it, the more you start to understand
And you learn it as
and
well.
you learn, exactly.
That's impressive.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
That's sick.
All right.
What's that?
I think it's shoot to kill.
Yeah. Shoot to kill time.
Challenge time.
So,
I'm nervous.
No, you'll be fine.
You got to beat Cullum.
yeah.
Oh, that's
you gotta
what I'm
beat Callum,
nervous
yeah.
about.
Beat Callum. All right. 10 kilo kettlebell. Holding it out. Straight arms.
Both arms, right?
Both arms. Yep. Well, Mo's going to do some quick fire with you.
Yeah.
So she's going to quick fire some questions
Am I
at you
doing over
while
here?
you're holding it.
You're over
You're
here.
going to go here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we'll put our mic up. I don't know why my thing gets smaller and smaller every week.
Well, that's because there was a review, mate, and there was a couple of times you angled down, so we there was time taken off. Like there was like internal rotation.
We'll
just
go
the
10.
natural-
We'll grab the 10 kilo.
10 kilo.
Oh, that's still heavy. I know, right?
So,
I feel like I'm going to last
here.
Over here. Over here.
I'll put that mic
Okay.
up so that you can hear you.
Dun,
Cullum
dun,
did it
dun,
on
dun.
purpose. He's programmed like so many ring muscle ups. My shoulders is
Smart man.
Who's ready?
All right, yeah.
Get the timer ready.
Yeah.
Are we on?
like a stretch.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
3,
2, 1, go.
Rachel, swimming or CrossFit? Pick one.
Ooh.
Go. Go. Come on.
Swimming.
Mermaid or fairy?
Mermaid.
Bacon and eggs or French toast?
Bacon eggs.
Paleo or keto?
Paleo.
150 wall balls or 150 burpees?
150 burpees.
America or New Zealand?
New Zealand.
Would you rather win the Olympic gold at swimming or win the CrossFit Games?
CrossFit Games is more money.
Chocolate or lollies?
Chocolate.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Air Dine or the rower?
Rower.
Are you a tiger or lion?
Ooh, tiger.
Are you a singer or a dancer?
Dancer.
Christchurch or Auckland?
Ooh, Christchurch.
Would you rather
Would
would you rather have a heavy snatch or heavy clean and jerk?
Heavy snack.
Peanut butter or Nutella?
Nutella.
10 seconds.
Who would you save from drowning out of your brother and sister?
I'd save. Oh my god, both of them because I'm a great swimmer.
Yes. Okay.
101.
101. You beat him.
My peaks are firing.
That was such a good round.
Yeah.
Such a good round.
That's very well done.
I would like to
Champion.
clarify the Christchurch thing. I am born there. Okay, that's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, that is
God, I got
that.
sweat on.
Yeah.
Awesome. Sweet. So, Rachel, thank you for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
It's good. It's good to hear your story and learn a bit about what you do. Any final words?
Yeah.
Have anything you want to add?
Anything you want to say to your young
Summarise.
kids or
Yep.
Look, thank you guys so much for having me on here. It's been amazing, and it's cool that I can share my story, and I just hope that I can keep inspiring my kids, and you know, one day down the track, maybe you'll have one of them on here, and they'll be going,
that'd be awesome.
"Oh, my coach Rachel."
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it's all about, and that's what I love about what I do. Is I hope that in the future these kids still remember me, and they can come and see me and go, once I had this coach, her name was Rachel. She really inspired me to do this, that, and the other. So, yeah, so it's really cool that I can come on here, and you guys are awesome. And it was really
thank
fun. So thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
All good.
mate. We can, you
oh,
go.
Me?
Where can anyone find you if they want to start following you or follow your journey?
So I'm on Instagram. I think it's Rach Palmer on
Yeah.
Instagram. On Facebook, just my name. But yeah, feel free. Like anyone, drop me a message. Like I
Yeah.
know I have resting bitch face. We talked about this, but I swear I'm a nice person.
Yeah. She is super nice. I can confirm.
Hey, thanks, guys.
It's one of the things, right? I spoke to Rachel on Monday. We always go out and we talk to the talent before coming on. And one of the things I said to her was, do you know that you guys, like the Palmer sisters,
Yeah.
like if the Palmer sisters are on the floor, everyone notices it, right? And what do you say to me? You don't even
I was
think.
like, what are you talking about?
But it's a thing.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say you're
do.
like CrossFit royalty in New Zealand, but I would say that you are a
Well-known.
well-known figure within the CrossFit scene. So for a lot of people out there, if you get the opportunity to get 5 minutes with her
Yeah.
or her sister or any
Please
of the
come
top
do
guys,
it, man.
yeah, make sure you get out there because it's worth the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that
Yeah.
so much.
Sweet. Oh, well, so if you want to watch the show, head to our Facebook page, the RX Debrief, or you can wait till Sunday, and this podcast will be up on Spotify.
Will be.
We want to say a good luck
Yeah, good
to
luck.
the Ironman.
Yes.
Yep,
yes.
people doing the Ironman, and that leads us into next week's guest, who's Ben Parodi.
Yeah,
Oh,
Ben
Say that
Parodi.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Ben
Yep.
Parodi. Yep. So he'll be our next guest next week. Other than that, I think that's us.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
us.
Cheers in the middle.
Cheers in the middle.
Cheers in the middle.
Bam.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay.
We'll follow this.
RX Debrief
Yeah.
out. We on.
Done.